Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. So let's continue looking at word-based imageries. So we add one horizontal to this vertical line on this word/tree symbol. That makes it a root. And I guess even on pronounces, but even on contemporary Chinese, we probably can still see why here it means the root. Before I ever seen the 2000 years ago's version that looks like this, and realized that the word I learned from the simplified Chinese, because I always think about this diagonal lines are kind of canopies, kind of like an umbrella. So I regard this vertical line as the trunk. I didn't have this below the ground vision about Chinese view the wood or the tree as a full body thing, like an X-ray to see the cross section of the tree above and below ground. And from my child's eyes, I didn't pay much attention to below the ground part. So I always thought about at the top, all these structures is describing the canopy of the tree. And even so, with this one horizontal line in simplified Chinese, I can still kind of imagine, okay, this is kind of closer to the very end of this tree trunk. So that's where the root is going to start. Wrong. This whole thing, that this downward-facing arch was reshaped, and this part is already the root part, and then the whole thing here, this horizontal line, is squarely in the middle of the root, not where the root is about to start. So that's the revised understanding from my understanding of Chinese character of the word. And then there's a root symbol, this horizontal line, then makes sense. So this horizontal line is an indicator. It's kind of contemporary arrow pointing equivalent. It's a Chinese way to point our attention to where of the whole tree anatomy, right? The major parts of the tree expressed so eloquently and succinctly in this 2D visual, and just add one horizontal line. That's the indicator to tell you, okay, this part, which is intersecting with the roots of the tree, is what we want to express here. So that's root. And from the root, just like in English, when we talk about the root of things, that's like the base of things, or the root cause, right? That means the precondition or the dependency or something is going to happen, that the root kind of sorted back to the origin. So Chinese root, this 本, take on all of that. And here are just 3 out of many expressions that this 本 was used. It's such a commonly used, and probably because in life, Chinese also express a lot with the root, that in different contexts that you will see here. But there's a sense of something coming from the root, something the base. It's so, I guess, easily to be mapped onto different situations. Okay, 本末倒置. 本, the root, right? 末 is the other side of the root. What is the root? Okay, I actually checked the dictionary. What's the antonyms of root? None of it. And I asked ChatGPT, what's the antonym? And it says stem. Well, stem is not exactly the opposite of root. It's the continuation of a root coming above the ground, and then the root need to be kind of covered, protected by the surface, pretty rough, weatherproof surface to provide nutrition, right? The real opposite, antonym, antonym of root. It's expressed by placing this indicator on the top of the tree, which will intersect with the canopy. And that actually means the tip, the very edge of the tree. So that means we come to the branches, the twigs, the leaves, the edge of the leaves. So that's the opposite of root. It's almost the mirror image of the above ground version of the root. Okay, 倒置, reverse. 置 means placed, reverse placed. That means, well, in cause and effect analysis, oftentimes, which one caused which? It's like chicken and egg, right? It's like a cycle. Like we cannot really tell where things actually started. Well, that's probably holds truth to a lot of situations. So Chinese create this expression 本末倒置 to tell you about a sequential or cause-effect logic between things. You see two elements, and then you kind of reversed place them to think something which really is the effect, and you thought that as the cause of it. And a flawed thinking or flawed observation. So 本末倒置 is such a, I guess, insightful expression, and so brief, right? And it kind of reminds, because we learned this expression in Chinese, and we can keep that in mind. That's a common error to attribute, which is the root, which is the tip, the cause and effect. Okay, 一本万利, 本 here actually means principle. This is investment lingo. So 利 is the interest, 本 is the principle. And we can see it because it's the root, right? That's the beginning where things started. And then you start to have 利, the interest based on this. And then here we have two numbers. One is 1, we already talked, the beginning of the year. 1, root, 1 principle down, and then you generate 10,000 interest. So I guess that's the dream of any investor, that they want to put on the right bet so that they can be highly rewarded. The ROI, right, the return or the growth of whatever they invest in is like 1 to 10,000. And I mean, in contemporary stock market miracles, I'm not sure if that ever happened, but the Chinese have this expression. And the 1, it doesn't necessarily mean 10,000 to be exact. Here it just means a huge number. Even you 2x something in a year in stock market, that's pretty huge, big deal, right? And here we're talking about not 2x, but a 10,000x of the root, the principle, what you put down. Okay, 追本溯源 here, 本 means the origin. And the yuan, okay, if the origin here, we use the root of the tree. This yuan is the origin, the starting point of water. So water source, place. And 追 and 溯 both are verbs to talk about you want to track down, you want to trace back the root of things. So 追本溯源 is kind of the work of sorting out what's the origin. I mean, in a sense, what I'm doing here, the etymology of these origin stories of Chinese characters, that's 追本溯源, exactly that. So here is up and close look of root that's kind of surfaced. And I think that's probably due to the erosion of soil. And actually, the end of life of trees would be not enough soil ripped by the roots, and then the tree would eventually topple. But over here, you can see it's still like rooted, but we get to see the complicated nutritional pipe system of the tree. And you can see how it's almost like a mirroring, and even more like a stronger, more dense than what's the canopy of the tree up there. But thank you for your time. See you another day.